Hi, Empaths. My name is Dr. Eileen, and I am an empath and an intuitive spiritual therapist. These are your tips for December 5th through December 11th, 2021. I hope all of you are doing great on your empath journey. And we are deep in the holiday season. So for those of you that celebrate holidays, happy holidays. I hope it's going really well for all of you. And as the year comes to an end, may all of us in the Empath Collective stay focused, stay strong. May we finish the year, with just impeccable grace and dignity and strength. We can do this. We got it. We really do. So these tips are for the empath community, the empath collective. They may be helpful for people who consider themselves to be energy sensitive, light workers, star seeds, and way showers. Thank you so much for your service work. Thank you for all that you do. And I'm really hoping that these tips will reach the members of the community at the exact same time that they need them, and that they could be helpful for your path. So I've been talking for the last several weeks about empath lessons because there's a huge learning curve when we are empaths. We have to learn how to navigate this life and do it with grace, dignity, integrity, strength, and focus and stamina. It's certainly not an easy path, and it is not for the weak. And as empaths, we can often feel weak or discouraged or hopeless, not sure how to navigate. But once we learn the right skills and the right lessons, the path certainly becomes a lot easier. So my wish for you, those of you that watch these tips, is that somehow they will maybe brighten your path, give you encouragement when you're not feeling so encouraged or inspired. And I'm hoping that your path will somehow become a gentler path with the edges smoothed out with some of these tips. So I'm calling them empath lessons, but really it's richer than that. What we're talking about is learning to finesse the energy of spirit, how to work with it, how to co-conspire with the divine universe, and how to just work with light, right? Many of you are light workers. We're learning how to work with light, and that can seem so big and magical, and what does that even mean? But I'm hoping that these tips are simplifying it for you, showing you how, first of all, the path is laid out for us. There's a lot of beautiful puzzle pieces. Our job as light workers and empaths and star seeds and way showers are just to find the pieces and learn to connect the dots. And once you understand the energy and flow of the divine, of the universe, of spirit, it becomes a lot easier to recognize those different dots or different puzzle pieces and bring them together. My work with empaths is to show you how to recognize what's always been there, that you always knew intrinsically, but maybe didn't realize you knew. Yeah, hopefully you understand what I mean by that. In other words, it's already inside of you. The things I'm sharing, they're already inside of you. In fact, for many of you, it will feel like you're just remembering as opposed to learning. For some of you, you'll feel like you're learning, but for a lot of you, it will feel like you're remembering things you've already known. And that's so very exciting. So we have been talking about, I introduced gratitude, I introduced passion, I introduced happiness a few weeks ago, and I talked about how these words, if you can learn to embody them, help you stay in a high vibration and a high frequency, which really does support, the work that you are doing. Hopefully, as you are practicing happiness and passion, activating your work with passion and staying in a place of gratitude, I'm hoping that you're realizing there's so much more to this path than maybe you realized before. with the ups and downs and the challenges of life, we can feel like, is this all there is? Life is so hard, and there's a lot of difficulties and a lot of, nefarious beings and power and control structures. But I'm hoping that as you're on your journey and you're really activating all of your gifts, that you're not only recognizing there's so much more than this, but more importantly, that you're realizing you're so much more than maybe you ever even realized. You are very, very powerful, dear empath, and your work is much needed. Your heart space, your intention, they're so very powerful, and they really do help the planet and, to heal. So we've talked about happiness, passion, and gratitude. I'd like to introduce 3 more words. I'd like to introduce excitement, optimism, and bliss. Now, these are all very nice, positive words, right? I'm sure you'll agree with that. But there's so much more than that. When you truly bring excitement, optimism, and bliss into your structure on a regular basis, these words, these very powerful, beautiful, positive words, mixed with, aligned with, experienced with, integrated with your pure heart structure and your high positive intentions. These emotions or these words then become light code activations. So as empaths, light workers, we're working with light. And the light codes are already inside of us. A lot of the time they're dormant until we have a spiritual awakening. Sometimes you go through the dark night of the soul, you go through some challenges, some really difficult times, and your light codes will activate because now you need them, and so there's this divine timing that occurs that will inspire light codes that were once dormant become activated inside of you. Sometimes the environment or experience that you're in, the situation, the community, the people that you're working with need those light codes, and so they'll become activated. There are many different reasons why the encoding that's already in you at birth becomes activated. There's a series of events and tests of initiation. It may just be time. It may be your time to be activated as an empath, soldier or service worker. And it could just be that through trial and hardship and challenge, it pushed you into, a deeper knowing of who you are. Maybe you cried out, to the divine for help or for divine assistance, and your gifts came online. But there's certain emotions or words that we can, when we are in the space of high vibration, high frequency, pure intention, when we embody these emotions or these words, they become light code activations. Okay. So anytime you add your high vibration, your pure heart structure, your positive intentions to these, already positive emotions, then they become light code activations for the community that you're working with or the people that you're working with. So beyond just being beautiful, positive words, they become keys. And these keys protect your energy. They maintain a high vibration. They give you access to the divine universe in ways that are different. And on this note, I want to challenge you all to stay in the energy, emotion, the vibration, the frequency of excitement, optimism, and bliss. Try to see if you can hold those powerful energies for 7 days straight. It's not easily done, but if you can manage to stay in the emotional energy of excitement, optimism, and bliss for 7 days, you're going to experience a quantum leap in your consciousness. You'll notice that your perspective on some things change. And I'm really excited because you'll notice a change in your physical health and in your emotional health. So if you choose to, accept that challenge, please email me at empathhearthealing@gmail.com and let me know what that experience was like. I suspect it will be pretty awesome. Okay, so now as an empath, you want to learn to realize that your emotional state holds power, okay? Your emotional state. Of course, your emotional state affects your vibration. It affects the work that you do. And this is true for everyone, but especially for us empaths, because we're so energy sensitive and we are absorbing the energy of the people and the environment around us. So for us as empaths, we want to be, we want to protect our emotional state, and we want to be aware of our emotional state at all times, because this emotional state that we're in becomes our platform for creating. Okay, so we want to be very diligent about paying attention to the emotional state that we're in. So low emotion, equals low vibration. That's what you're creating from. High emotion, positive emotion, high vibration, that creates the platform from which you are launching from. So we want to always launch from a high state of emotion, therefore, creating thoughts, feelings, vibration from that high place as opposed to that lower space. So let's talk about conscious creation and being a conscious creator. What does that even mean? So being a conscious creator is staying in the energy of consciousness. It's the awareness that you are creating from an awakened state, and that your awakened state has meaning and that it has power. Conscious creating it's a shift in perspective that inspires ascended living, ascended thinking, and ascended being. Okay, so when you are living your life from an ascended perspective, ascended thinking, ascended living, ascended, feelings, moving through the world from an ascended space, then this also establishes a platform. And when you launch from this platform, you're creating consciously. Okay, so when we talk about conscious creation or being a conscious creator, it's the awareness that in your awakened state, your life, your words, your vibration, your frequency, everything that is emanating from you has meaning and it has power. It's the conscious awareness of that. Okay, and then realizing that, think about the level of maturity that's required. Think about the level of sincerity and intentionality required to recognize you are a conscious creator, choosing to protect your energy, choosing to maintain a high vibration and a high frequency so that you can launch from a high platform and create from that space, knowing that you are supported by the divine in all that you create. I mean, how beautiful, right? Being a conscious creator is such a lovely way to move through the world as a light worker, as an empath, as a starseed, because you're not haphazardly doing anything. You are not just saying, oh, I'm a good person and I want to help the world, which is beautiful. I love that. And I'm certainly not mocking anybody who is going through life whimsically. But for some of us, we're very aware that we're here to do very important work. We're co-conspiring with the divine. We are co-creating with the universe. And we're very serious and very intentional and very aware that if we finesse the energy, if we structure it correctly, if we put the right ingredients together, if we connect the puzzle pieces and connect the dots with intentionality and high vibe and pure heart structure, that we can create consciously, as opposed to just throwing a bunch of ingredients in a bowl and hoping, stirring them up and hoping something good comes out of it. No, I'm going to put this ingredient and that ingredient and this one and this one. And now it's time for this one and that one. And when I put it in the oven, I'm going to set the timer. And I know, because I've done this methodically, I've done the right things long enough, consciously, correctly, with intention, with pure heart, structure. When I pull this out of the oven, the spiritual oven, it's going to be perfect, completely aligned with what the divine has for this particular time and place, dimension, situation. So consider when you, as a conscious creator, you get to launch from this awakened consciousness. So play big with your lives. Don't play small. Consider what serves the highest good. What helps the human collective grow? What expands consciousness? What heals the planet? Moving from this state allows you to create even more consciously. And when you're creating something with intention, be careful not to talk to too many people about it, okay? Be selective in who you share your conscious creations with. You don't want other people's energy to water down or contaminate the energy of what you're creating. After your creation is complete in a divine way, people will get to observe and experience and enjoy what you've created. But until you are done creating, whether it's an actual physical creation or it's an integration, or you're planning goals, pursuits, projects, whatever it is, consider keeping that between you and the divine, and only tell those people that absolutely have your back. But not only that, have the mature consciousness that can support you without blabbing your ideas, and also who have the maturity where no self-doubt will enter because they're being negative or they don't believe it's possible. You don't want to water down your gifts and your blessings. Finally, empath, you are not alone. You are completely supported by the divine universe. And so whether it's that you want to hold excitement, optimism, and bliss for 7 days straight, or whether you have a big project, a big endeavor, something amazing that you want to create or pursue, the divine universe is here to support you. The divine is benevolent. And if you can accept this benevolence, you then will know that you're supported daily, moment by moment, at every turn. You will always have what you need. Now, the universe loves questions. And I'm not going to tell anybody how to pray. Some people chant, some people do mantras. There's a lot of different ways that people connect with the universe. I've given you lots and lots of tips. I've talked about gratitude. I've talked about passion. I've talked about happiness as being activators. And today we're talking about excitement and optimism and bliss and conscious creation with pure heart structure, high intention, high vibe, protecting your emotional state. Like we've talked about so many different ways to activate all of your gifts as empaths, right? And so I also now want to introduce questions. The universe loves questions, but they have to be the right questions, okay? So I live my life by asking the universe questions all the time. I have so much fun asking questions, and I really love when the universe responds. And so I'm going to share some questions that the universe loves to answer. And so if you ask these types of questions, you'll get very quick responses. They will move the divine and on your behalf. The divine will be compelled to move on your behalf. Now, remember, you want to ask from high vibe, right? Pure heart, high intentions, knowing you're a conscious creator. But these are some of the questions. So I've made a list. So, divine, universe, all who love me unconditionally and have my highest good as your highest intention, what beautiful things may I experience today? How can my life be more glorious? What wonderful things are happening that give me more gratitude? What is the highest level of health I can achieve? What is the highest level of physical fitness I can experience? How can I laugh more and enjoy everything more? What things in my life make it absolutely stunning, gorgeous, and glorious? What are the things I can do to enjoy more happiness? What does bliss feel like? That's a great one. Wait until the universe shows you what bliss feels like. How can I experience optimism and happiness in every fiber of my being? How can I maintain high vibrational mindsets every day for the rest of my life? How powerful am I? And how does this power that I have align with the divine plan of my life? How does my divine power serve the highest good of all? How can I feel passionate exhilaration in everything that I do? So, the universe loves questions, and I strongly encourage you to ask questions, but ask the right questions. Ask high vibe questions that compel the universe to move on your behalf and show you how beautiful your life is, how powerful you are, what wonderful things, are around you that create more gratitude. Let's move away from the low vibe energy and low emotional states of being where we ask questions that don't serve our highest good, or we make statements or declarations that are not helpful. One of my mentors says, never say anything that you don't actually want to be true, because you're a creator. So create consciously. Don't say things like, oh, why am I always sick? Don't say that. Don't ask that question. Ask another question. How can my life be healthier? How can I feel better? How can I be more vibrant? How can I be stronger? How can I be more physically fit? How can I just feel happier every single day? How can today be better than yesterday? Ask the right questions. Stay in that high vibration. Stay in that high emotional state. Remember, you're a conscious creator creating with the universe. And here's what's so exciting as I get ready to close these tips. When you realize that you are a conscious creator, that the universe is benevolent and completely on your side, that it loves questions, and that it's here to support you. The divine is here to support you. Whether you want to see that as your angels, God, creator, the source, your ancestors, whatever that is for you, the divine is here to support you. When you're aware of this, then you begin to create new realities. I know that sounds so woo-woo and far out and like, what is she talking about? But this is why when you are a positive, healthy, whole empath, integrating, activating light codes, sharing your gifts with the world from a pure heart structure, high vibration, protecting your energy. This is why you could be standing literally right next to someone else who's negative Nelly, low vibration, always having problems, nothing positive to say, never feeling gratitude, always sees the glasses half empty, just negative, stinking thinking. You can literally be standing right next to that human, and you can both be having completely different experiences because you are literally creating two different realities. You are literally in two different dimensions. So although we are here on this planet, to some degree, we begin to have otherworldly experiences based on our perspective, our vibration, our frequency, what we choose to sit in, where we choose to launch from. Okay? So very important, dear beautiful empath, that you remember you're unique. You're different. You think outside of the box. You're activating light codes. You're sharing your energy with the planet. You're here to help the planet be better and to be stronger. You came here for this. Your soul chose you for this. Your soul commissioned you for this. You're on assignment. And your experience may be very different than some of the people in your environment. But you are that way shower. You are that key. And for those that choose to listen or to be inspired by you, to follow your instruction, they can pull themselves out of low vibe, energy, low vibe thinking, and patterns and cycles that are not helpful. And for those that aren't ready for that, that's okay. You do your best, as I know, you will, because that's what you're only here to do your best, and you're trying. You wouldn't be listening to what I'm talking about if you didn't want to learn and grow and be a better version of yourself. So these are your empath tips. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful empaths of the world. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for your light. Thank you for your profundity. I'm so honored to work alongside you at such time as this. May you have the best week ahead, and I cannot wait to share with you again. Blessings.